Hey everyone, we are going to talk about adding and subtracting radicals. So I'm pretty sure that most of you did this before we left for conferences, but we're just going to do a review of this and then we're going to move into the multiplying and dividing and rationalizing for everybody. So for adding and subtracting radical expressions, the first thing that you need to remember is that you need to simplify all radical expressions. Then the second thing you need to remember is combine the coefficients of the like radicals. So 2 quick, easy steps. So I will give you a second so that you can copy that down. And while you're doing that, I'm going to highlight. So step number 1 is to simplify, and step number 2 is to combine like radicals. Okay, so let's look at an example. So our first example is going to be 3 root 6 minus 4 root 6. So step number 1 says to simplify. So if I look at my radical expressions, this says the square root of 6 and this says the square root of 6. That cannot be simplified any further because the only factors are 2 and 3 and they're both prime. So this is factored as far as it can possibly go. This is simplified as far as it can go. So now what I'm going to do is combine the coefficients of the like radicals. Well, my coefficients are 3 and negative 4. So basically you're doing 3 minus 4. So 3 minus 4 is going to give us negative 1. But in algebra, we don't typically write that 1. So we're going to just write a negative. Actually, I'll write negative 1 and then I'll show you afterwards so you have it for later. And then this, we just keep this. So it's negative 1 times root 6. But again, like I mentioned a second ago, we don't typically write the 1, so it would just be this for your final answer. So that's all you do. Let's take a quick look at one where we would have to simplify. So if we have 2 root 6 plus 3 root 54. So if I look at these, they're not like expressions. This one I know is already simplified, but this one is not. So I need to simplify this right here. So this basically is telling me I have to multiply 3 times whatever this is simplified. So I'm going to simplify that first. And again, I told you in the last video, I like to do the inverted division. So if I have 2, let's see, 54 divided by 2, that's going to be 27, 3 and 9, 3 and 3. So my prime factorization here is 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. So now I'm looking for pairs. So here I have a pair of 3s. So this right here simplifies down to 3 root 6. So this right here tells me that I have to do 3 times 3 root 6. So 3 times 3 is going to give us 9 root 6. So we're using this in place of this. That's it. We just wrote it in a different way. So that's all that we did. So now I have the problem 2 root 6 plus 9 root 6. So now that these are alike, I can combine my coefficients. So 2 plus 9 is equal to 11 root 6.